please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
The Wall Street then, where the markets ended flat after a volatile day of trading. The Nifty opened gap down but saw a sharp recovery to end the day flat. The Sensex also reclaimed the 34,000 mark with a slight negative bias. Mid-caps ended just shy of 19,000 mark, while banks slightly outperformed with a 73-point gain. Anuj Singhal joins us now with a wrap of today's trading action. Anuj, bulls should be happy today looking at the recovery after a weak start.
Well, the markets recovered after a big gap down, and a large part of that, of course, was short covering. The market decided to trap some shorts, especially on the financials and the bank nifty. The bank nifty made a big move from the low point. Bajaj Finance and HDFC Bank really stood out in terms of big gainers, and Yes Bank, Kotak, SBI, IndusInd Bank also made a move. Among other gainers, you had M&M at fresh high today. Tata Motors, Coal India and HUL also made a move. On the way down, HPCL was down. Tata Motors and ICICI Bank also on the lower side. In the mid-cap space, there were a lot of gainers, especially reacting to numbers. Now Bharat Ventures, for example, was locked on circuit. JSW Energy did well. CDSL was higher. Astra Micro, Satin Credit Care and Reliance Communications. On the way down, the stock of the day was Dilip Buildcon, down about 11%. 1% Beverages locked on 10% lower circuit. The circuit has been lowered, of course, from 20 to 10. And if it hits two more 10% circuit, it's down to 5. That's the rule, of course. And Ajanta Pharma also was down quite a bit in trade. So all in all, the market has established a bit of a range here. 10,550 acting as huge support, 10,700 acting as big resistance.
All right, Anuj, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining in. Now, after 16 days of consecutive fuel price hikes, oil marketing companies have finally halted the surge with a fuel price cut of, wait for it, 1 paise per litre. Consumers were in for a pleasant surprise early in the morning when the website of Indian Oil Corporation showed it had lowered petrol prices by 60 paise a litre and diesel by 56 paise a litre. But shortly afterwards, the price cut was rolled back, and consumers were left with a token cut of 1 paise a litre. So the revised prices of petrol in Mumbai now stand at 86.23 rupees per litre versus 86.24 rupees a litre as of yesterday. But it is cheer for consumers in Kerala, where the state has decided to reduce the value-added tax rate in order to bring down fuel prices by 1 rupee per litre. We caught up with the Finance Minister of Kerala, Thomas Isaac, who said that the state had decided to forego additional revenue in order to provide relief to consumers.
We are reducing the price of petrol and diesel in Kerala by ₹1.
Okay.
Now,
yes.
that would imply that we are giving up additional revenue that the state government is receiving from the prices increase from April 1st. The entire new financial year, we have calculated the additional revenue that is accruing from say 1 litre of petrol. It comes to be 1 rupee, and diesel it will be a little lower.
Okay.
But we are going to reduce, calibrate our tax rate in such a manner.
Yes.
The price declines by 1 rupee.
Okay. So what is the what was the percentage VAT up until yesterday, and what is the new percentage? If you can explain the same number in percentage terms.
Okay. The percentage VAT till yesterday was 31.8%. It will decline by 1.6%.
Okay.
Now, when you want to compare with the excise duty, it would be some ad valorem converted, the fixed charge converted into ad valorem rate would be 45 for the sender.
Okay. What is the message you're giving? Is this to impress upon the centre that you have done your bit and therefore the centre should do its bit?
We have always been demanding the excise duty on petrol, which was increased by more than 200%, and on diesel more than 300% by the BJP government since they came to power, should be rolled back. See, they increased the excise duty when the crude oil prices were coming down, and therefore it didn't affect the price. But now that international price of crude oil is going up, they should rightfully reduce the excise duty, their increase, but they are refusing. Now, despite our repeated calls, they are immune to popular pressure. So we have decided we will, on our own, give up additional revenue that we have gained. It means something like 500 crores of loss, annualized loss for the state government.
So talking of fuel prices then, there could be a major relief in the offing for the Indian aviation sector. Sources tell us that at its next meeting in the GST Council, the Council is expected to discuss this proposal to allow bringing aviation turbine fuel under the GST ambit. Remember, this has been a long-standing demand from the aviation sector, and even at a recent meeting with the Aviation Ministry, the industry representatives had reiterated this demand. In fact, after our exclusive news break on CNBC TV 18, aviation stocks surged in trade. Timsy Jaipuria, who broke that story first, joins us now with more details. Timsy, fill us in with what more you have picked up.
And right now from our sources that government is soon going to take up the proposal of Aviation Ministry to get ATF under GST ambit. And remember, Aviation Ministry was mooting a proposal to tax ATF under GST at 12%, and what we understand that Revenue Department is now going to take this proposal forward. They will also propose a 12% rate only on ATF. Not just this, government is also going to soon issue a circular on duty-free shops to remain out of GST ambit. Remember, there was an AAR ruling to have GST on shops at the airports, especially the duty-free shops would be charging GST. But yes, post that ruling, Aviation Ministry did a detailed representation to the Revenue Department, after which Revenue Department has taken a consent and has gone ahead with the fact that yes, duty-free shops should remain duty-free and no GST should be charged. Apart from that, when it comes to the numbers of April, what we also understand is the fact that about 55 lakh returns have come in so far. That is about 60% or above taxpayers have filed their returns for April as of now. The numbers that I'm quoting are as of yesterday, and about 90,000 odd crore rupees has come in as revenue for the month of April. Remember, the window expired on May 22nd, but yes, people do keep on filing because of a very minimal late fee and penalty, and that's why the government, since it decided to report numbers on 1st of June, which we are going to see on Friday, the numbers will be up till 31st. So as of now, as of yesterday, about 90,000 odd crore has come in the kitty of the government under GST. Back to you.
Straight to a CNBC TV 18 exclusive. We would definitely like to keep Taj Man Singh. That's the word coming in from Indian Hotel CEO Puneet Chhatwal. In an exclusive conversation with CNBC TV 18's Kritika Saxena, he said that the company will surely bid for Taj Man Singh and that it is an iconic asset for them. He added that they will definitely look at acquisitions if they strategically fit into the company's portfolio. Listen in.
Chandra has already talked about how important Taj Man Singh is going to be for Indian hotels. Are you going to definitely be bidding as and when NDMC does end up auctioning this? And how aggressive are you willing to go to hold on to that property?
Listen, I don't think in a television interview I'm going to tell you how aggressive. But definitely we would like to keep Taj Man Singh. It's not only a pride for Taj, it's the pride of the nation. And everybody, especially who has grown up in Delhi like I have, has grown up with Man Singh.
So you do want to keep that in the portfolio. You will be bidding for this.
Absolutely. I mean, who would not want to have the Man Singh or the Taj Palace or the Taj Mahal Palace and Tower in Mumbai? I mean, it's a very iconic asset.
Yeah.
And the most important part of our Aspiration 2022 is to reinforce and make it very clear to the entire industry that we are the most iconic and most profitable company that South Asia has ever produced.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
how can we let our icons go away?
How critical will acquisitions be? And I want to get your comment on one specific buzz that I heard. Sita de Goa is something that is reportedly being wooed by Taj. Is that on the anvil?
News to me, but it's I don't think specific name matters, but one of the consequences of profitability, one of the consequences of driving margins is that over the next 3 to 6 months, we will be offered opportunities which we were not offered maybe a year or 2 years ago.
Okay. So acquisitions is definitely on the anvil.
Definitely. Why not? You know, this is, organic growth has its own place, but if there is a strategic fit of acquiring a small portfolio or a mid-sized portfolio, we will evaluate as and when such offers would come along.
You have 17,145 rooms that you own, and you have roughly around 1,500 through management contracts. So how would this ratio now change? Since you've already said that you're looking at increasing management contracts.
In 5 years from now, we are looking at a portfolio with that 35 to 40 or 45% growth that I alluded to before, a portfolio of hotels in operation and in pipeline to be 50% owned or leased and 50% managed.
Okay. And right now, obviously, this is...
Right now, that balance is not there. We're more than 70% owned or leased.
And you can catch the conversation on CNBC TV 18 at 5:30 p.m. today. Now, India's FM's like in a recovery mode just, when the industry made Nielsen India 18, CNBC TV began by asking him if there was a reason to cheer for the FMCG players just.
Growth numbers may go up or down because of the consumer offtake. See, in Q1 of 2018, our estimates, Nielsen estimates, have been in the range of 11% plus, which is a decent growth. It's a double-digit growth. Yeah. Now, even in Q2 of 2018, which is the current quarter, we are expecting that industry should grow in high single digits, close to 9% or so. And full year estimate for 2018 is also in double digits. So I would say that the growth momentum is intact, and it's largely led by rural growth, because rural areas were under stress to some extent in 2017, because upcountry, wholesale, and other reach parameters were not at their optimal. It's going back to the normal. So the differential between rural to urban growth has gone back to the same level of about 1.4x kind of differential. So these are all good news, and I'm fairly optimistic that a double-digit number of growth is good for the industry.
Let's talk about those projections a little bit. Like you said, we should see a high single-digit growth in the second quarter and third quarter, and the year 2018 should balance out at about 11% is what you're forecasting. What was that number for last year?
So last year, 2017 versus 2016, full year, calendar year, the industry grew at about 13.5%. Okay. So from a 13.5% to an 11%, it may sound like a 2% lower growth, but still, it's going to be in the double-digit kind of league.
Now, shares of Gujarat-based fruit juice maker Manpasand Beverages has lost about 50% of its value in just the last 3 trading sessions, with the bulk of these drops coming in mainly in the last 2 days. Now, this huge fall has come after Deloitte resigned as the company's auditor just ahead of Manpasand's financial results declaration. Today, the stock tanked close to 10% in trade. So what has really been the genesis of this crisis, and what are the key questions that all parties need to answer? Mangalam Mallu is here with a detailed analysis of just that. Mangalam, over to you.
Absolutely. So with a 50%, near 50% decline in Manpasand share prices, we need to know about 3 things. There was 1 resignation, there were 3 lower circuits, and 4 key questions that need to be answered. So first up, all the genesis. The genesis took place on Sunday evening when the company informed the exchanges that Deloitte has actually resigned as the company's auditors, and that is where the big problem happened. The second point that took place was the company's board meet, which was scheduled today, stands cancelled. At the same time, if you take a look at the replacement for the auditors, they appointed Mehra Goyal and Company as the statutory auditors. Thereafter, the street did not like it. There was lower circuit 1 on Monday, that is May 28th. There, we got 2 statements come by. One was from the company to the exchanges, and they said that the resignation of Deloitte as well as their financial results are absolutely unrelated. Later, from our sources, we got Deloitte's statement. They said that the company did not provide significant information with regards to the financials, because of which they had to pull out. So the street did not like this dichotomy. Come day 2, there was lower circuit 2. So there we had another one, and we questioned the management of Manpasand Beverages on our channel. And when we said they said that they've been shocked at the sequence of events, and there was no sign of discord between auditors and company. So there are four key questions. I believe we have to wait for the graphics to come. Until then, I'll just toss back to you, Ritu.
All right, Mangalap, thank you so much for joining in and bringing us all of those details. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of After the Bell. Stay tuned to CNBC TV 18. Markets Today Talkback will be up next.